Now let's get to the movie. Let's get to what I didn't like. There's so many things that I didn't like about this movie, and I'm going to give my rating at the end of what I think it is from 1 to 10. But let's start off with some of the things about the movie. 2025 movie review. I'm going to give a rating from 1 to 10. I'm going to let you guys know how I feel about the movie. So first thing, this is going to be a spoiler video. I'm going to talk about the movie. I'm going to be talking about, certain things in the movie. So if you haven't seen the movie, and this is all my opinion, okay? This is all my opinion. If you haven't seen the movie, go see the movie, then come back to this video. But we know how Hollywood and how these people have been making these videos, of Marvel and DC, and just in general movies lately have not been so great. Okay, and I'm gonna be munching on I got some sausages, I got some white rice, I got some lettuce. Is that all I got on it? Yeah, white rice, my vegan sausages, I got 2 of them, and my lettuce. So I will be eating on that as I go through this review. Okay, so what did I think of the movie? From what I'm hearing with a lot of other people have been pretty much not happy with the movie, but this is my review. Now, this is my personal opinion. Okay. So let's go. We got the good, we got the bad. Let's go with the good. I liked how Galactus looked. I loved the way how Galactus was big. He was like humongous. I love all the detail, the design of the face, his eyes. All that was good. I thought Galactus was good. I thought they did him good visually wise. Okay, and then you got the other thing that I like about it was it had like an old school look to it, like it was kind of like back in the day. That's another thing I thought was kind of cool. It was it was cool. It was all right. Now let's get to the movie. Let's get to what I didn't like. There's so many things that I didn't like about this movie, and I'm going to give my rating at the end of what I think it is from 1 to 10. But let's start off with some of the things about the movie. One thing I didn't like about the movie was The Thing. I did not like The Thing. I didn't like halfway through the movie they give him like a beard. He had like a beard. I didn't like that. I did like that they did show a couple shots of him in his trench coat with his hat, his fedora hat. It was all right. I didn't like Thing because of one of the reasons I didn't like him, or that how they did him in the movie. This one. His voice wasn't deep enough. Now, if you're like a Marvel, DC fan, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, The Thing, his voice is not light. It's like real dark. It's clobbering time. It's like real dark. Deep, I should say. In this movie, there was none of that. Okay? His voice was so light, I automatically didn't like it. The whole time through in the movie, he doesn't say clobbering time. It gets all the way to the end of the movie when Johnny is flying him through and he hits Galactus. That finally at the end of the movie he says it. It's so bad how he says it. It's just like, oh my God, they did so bad. They messed it up so bad. Okay? So that's one thing that I didn't like. Another thing I didn't like was Reed's, the Mr. Fantastic, the Stretch guy. On after when they got the radiation and they changed, Reed's on the side, he had white hair on the sides. In this movie, you can barely tell that he's got white hair on the side. Listen, you guys, I know I'm nitpicking on little tiny things, but you gotta understand, I'm a Marvel fan. I'm a DC fan. I grew up, in the '80s. I grew up with this shit. Okay, so I like it when it's original. When they don't add in their new bull crap to it, they stick with the original stuff. Okay. Another thing I didn't like, and I think they had it in the comic books, but I'm not for sure. They had Silver Surfer a girl. Now in the comic books, I'm pretty sure he's a boy. So they had Silver Surfer as a girl. It looked alright. I'm not saying it was bad. Visually, it looked alright. But I don't know, for some reason I just didn't like it. It was like he's supposed to be a dude. You got him kind of like a girl. And maybe in the comic books they did change him up and like made a girl version of him. But I don't know, it wasn't all that great. But a couple of things that I didn't like. Also, there's no other superheroes in this except Fantastic Four. Other than that, other than the baby, the baby of Fantastic Four, of Reed and Invisible Woman, which I'll get into that little thing at the end of what happened at the end. Another thing is the baby at the end, spoiler alert, revives the Invisible Woman at the end. Okay, because she's so powerful, she's even more powerful than Galactus, a friggin' god, space god, who goes and devours Earth, that she's so powerful that she pushes him back into a portal and teleports him to a whole different space, a different part of the space. Because that was the only way that they could have killed him in the movie. So she's so powerful that she's pushing him to the portal, just pushing him all the way, by herself, miles down the street. She's pushing him to the portal, okay? And then she collapses and then she dies, okay? And then at the end, they all gather around her and they grab, because she had the baby. And the baby comes and lays on her and revives her up. Now, from what I've known from the comic books is Franklin, their son of Reed's and the Invisible Woman, he doesn't have power like that. In the comic books, he's like a very powerful like mind being. Like he's like Professor X, but like 20 times stronger, or like the stuff that he can do with his brain. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't understand how that interprets him reviving his mother, Invisible Woman. So I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I didn't like the thing about the Galactus. They had Fantastic Four going up against Galactus. Okay, there was no other superheroes. Okay, they had like 2 other villains in the show in the very beginning, and then they weren't all that irrelevant. They weren't all that good. I know there was something about a red monkey or something character guy. They got rid of him so quick in the first 5-10 minutes of the movie. It was a joke. Okay, and then the mole guy, who's supposed to be like living underground, another villain who's living under the ground and has a whole underground beneath. They get rid of him, they handle him and take him to jail. It's like real quick, it's over with quick in the beginning. Okay, and then at the end of the movie, they need his help. So they get him out of jail, or they go back to him to get his help. Because at the end of it, Galactus is coming. He's going through New York, destroying New York, and they don't want people to die, so they grab everybody and they take them underground. And I don't know. I didn't really care about that part either. The whole thing of the movie was they got their powers. They went to Earth. Everybody, they started fighting, helping the people. They became big. Everybody loves them. They start getting weird stress signals because in the Fantastic Four, in their base, they were like keeping in contact and in communication with everybody. And they were getting weird communications from different planets. Weird languages from different planets. And the characters just wasn't there. Like the guy who played Torch, the guy who played Mr. Fantastic, Mr. Reeds, the Invisible Woman, she was alright. But it just wasn't there. It wasn't there. It was like Johnny wasn't the Human Torch. Johnny, he didn't have that playboy, like, oh, I got all these women. Like, they didn't, like, because, in the comic books and in the first two movies, that's what he's like. He's like a playboy. He's like, wants to go out and, like, adventure. He's very sociable. It's like, he's like a superstar trying to, But in this one, I wasn't getting that vibe from the movie. He had like a little thing with the Silver Surfer woman, but really it wasn't really that much interesting. I mean, it wasn't like, I don't know, it just wasn't all, it's just like the chemistry, and it just wasn't all that great. And then they cracked a couple jokes, and to be honest, the jokes weren't even that funny. I give it a 4 out of 10. And there was no heroes. Like, they're supposed to be in New York. Where's Stark? Where's Iron Man? Where's Iron Man? Where's Spider-Man? Where's the other superheroes? There were none. If you were, if you say, Luke, you know what, I want to go watch it and see it myself, then go watch it, see it yourself. Tell me what you think about it down in the comments. It just wasn't there, man. They are not making these movies good enough. It's like, and another thing too, the action scenes, it really wasn't that much action scenes. I mean, at the end of it was like a good amount at the end, but it wasn't that much action. Very, very disappointing. Very disappointing. The last Fantastic Four was a disaster. No one liked that one. And I heard this one did even worse than that one. I hate to be the bearer of bad news if whoever's watching this video who hasn't watched Fantastic Four. Yeah, it just wasn't there, man. It wasn't there. That's a shame. Yeah, that's my ratings. That's my rating for the movie. Fantastic Four, 2025. A 4 out of 10. This is my personal opinion. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's your choice. If not, take my word for it. It sucked. The Superman 2025 was better. So there it is, you guys. That's the review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe button. I would appreciate it. And as always, you guys stay gold. And right, you guys stay gold. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace. I'm out.